Hi, now we are going to be looking at the compare tools. So the first thing I'm going to do is just build up a few filters here. So let's come into our diffusion and we'll look at our center spot. So what the center spot is doing is giving us a nice diffuse blurred edge going around our center, and I can also warm this up. If we look at our warm center spot options here, come into our parameters, we can change the color temperature to make it cooler or warmer. And of course we can adjust the opacity to change the strength of that also. So we'll come up, we'll add another filter up here, and this time let's come and explore our light here, and let's take a look. We could look at some of the glows. We've got some nice glows coming on here, but I'm going to go for a raise command now, and we can see it's had a dramatic effect on the picture here. And if I come over to my parameters on the right hand side, I can change things like the threshold, which is where the rays are going to start to be taken on. And as I change the threshold up, it's going to be only the lightest areas where we're going to start getting those rays out. So I can get a really nice, more localized effect going on here, only on the lightest areas. I can also change the length up or down just to make the effect slightly smaller or larger. So we've got a grey glow coming in now, and if I bring this down, we can start to see some more defined rays coming in here. And if I wanted to change those up even more, I can actually change the amount on the shimmer here, and we can really start to get some well-defined shapes around the edges. That's obviously gone a bit too far. And if I've got that around about 15, that starts to work. And using the phase command, we can come in and just adjust this up so it's looking exactly how we want it to. Then, so that the image starts to hang together completely, I'm going to add one last filter here, come into my Film Labs, and I'm just going to add some grain. And we've got a load of different choices we can add, but I think I'm going to go something fairly subtle. I'm going to go with the 52, 45, 50 ASA, and that's just making that all hang together a little bit better. Now DFX has got some great compare tools, so we can come in and start to see some sort of before and after work to see exactly how far we've come with it. So for example, I have my view compare button up here at the top, which is this little screen. If I add it back onto my original as well, I've now set up the 2 stages for doing my comparison. So up in our toolbar up here on the AB comparison button, I can toggle between those two and just see exactly how far that I've come. If I want to add a third or a fourth filter in here as well, I can come in and add those view compare buttons as well, and now those are going to be added to my mix. So I can come in and then just step through those various stages. Now if I wanted to view these simultaneously, I can click on either the side-by-side comparison button up here, and this will then present them in a side-by-side way. If we're dealing with portrait pictures, we're going to have them left and right, and if we're dealing with landscape pictures, they're going to be above and below each other. And if we want to give ourselves a little bit more space here, we can come up to the view and go to the view layout now, and we can start to see those a little bit bigger. So I can now see that I like where we're going with this here, but I'm missing out on some of the small details that I can see in the original here. So I'd actually like to see a bit more of the tools in the Smith's hands here. So I can come back to my default layout over here, come over to my center spot. So I can come down to the edit button on the effect or on the left hand side, and that will bring up my parameters over here. Now at any point I can save a snapshot of an image just by clicking on the snapshot button on the toolbar. And this saves a view of the current state in the memory. So I can come now to my, let's come to the spot here, and maybe use the on-screen controls just to bring this down, change the aspect ratio so it's slightly thinner yet wider. Come back and have a look at the output again. Then to check out how it looked before, I can click on my snapshot and we can start to compare those in that way. We can also use the A-B comparison as we had before. So now you can see that this is a lot clearer around the man here. And what I can also do is use the split comparison commands to give me a user definable way of splitting, so I can do a wipe just to see what areas are being affected at any point. and I can either split that horizontally or vertically as we're doing here. So if I come now and activate all 4 of my view comparison buttons here and change this to a side-by-side view, come back into my view layout, I can actually get a step-by-step comparison to what each of the filters are doing. So as you can see with DFX, we have great flexibility to how we can view and compare our different filters and layers as we're working along with them.